Welcome to this special episode of NewsX Deep Dive. Amidst claims by Bangladesh's Chief Adviser Mohammad Yunus that India is spreading misinformation about attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh, NewsX brings you the facts. Let's set the record straight once and for all. On 4th August 2024, a dramatic scene unfolded in Bangladesh as protesters toppled a statue of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founder of modern-day Bangladesh. In the backdrop of aggressively intensifying protests, on August 5, 2024, Bangladesh witnessed a significant turning point in its history. Faced with mounting pressure from a massive student-led uprising over a contentious job quota scheme, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country. Right after Hasina fled, protesters stormed her house, vandalizing the property and indulging in widespread looting. Images showed them lounging on her bed, rummaging through her drawers, and engaging in acts of rampage. Things did not stop there. Over the next few days, much of Bangladesh's history was erased as protesters vandalized, defaced, and bulldozed statues of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The attacks extended to include law enforcement agency members, with images showing protesters urinating, defacing, and throwing shoes at the statues. Following Hasina's ouster, the Bangladesh president swiftly announced the dissolution of parliament and the formation of an interim government to oversee the country's transition. On August 8, 2024, President Muhammad Shahabuddin administered the oath of office to Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus and his council of advisors. There was an interim government in place, but despite that, Hindus were assaulted. Their houses were looted, their shops were set ablaze, and they were beaten black and blue. Take a look at this. In November 2024, Hindu community in hiding out of fear in Chittagong were lathi-charged and beaten up brutally. This is a video shot in Bangladesh's Noakhali, where a Hindu family's house was set ablaze. Villagers in Dinajpur district were brutally beaten, their homes doused with petrol, and as the visuals show, reduced to ashes. Families were traumatized as their houses were torched before their eyes, unable to do anything but watch helplessly. Shops and businesses built from years of hard work were looted left, right, and center. This video shows the aftermath of an attack on the ISKCON temple in Mihirpur, Khulla division, where vandals desecrated idols and torched the temple. Footage from the Kali Mandir attack in Hazari Lane, Chittagong shows the aftermath of the violence, where the Bangladeshi army assaulted Hindus and desecrated idols. According to the Bangladesh Hindu-Buddhist Christian Unity Council, between August 4th and 20th, a staggering 2010 incidents of attacks on Hindus, including 69 temples, were reported across Bangladesh within a span of just 16 days. Among the incidents, 157 Hindu families reported their homes being attacked, looted, vandalized, and set ablaze. Hindus were also targeted, with arrests including Chinmoy Krishna Das, a Bangladeshi Hindu monk who was detained for 5 months on sedition charges. Raymond Roy, the lawyer representing him, was subjected to a brutal attack seemingly aimed at silencing him from pursuing the case. Despite the mounting evidence, Mohammad Yunus has now claimed that India is spreading false narratives about attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh. We'll talk about this and try and understand what exactly is going on over here. Major General Sudhakarji, senior geopolitical and strategic defense expert, joins us on the show to talk more about this. General Sudhakarji, always a pleasure having you, sir. Well, first of all, let's put a lid on the lies that Mohammad Yunus has been spreading. He's going on to say to the international media as well, he spoke to Mehdi Hassan just a few days ago and said that there was no violence against Hindus. This is just false propaganda on behalf of India. Who in the right mind would believe him that India would need such a propaganda to expose the plight of its Hindu brethren in Bangladesh? What do you make of this statement, sir?
Vinit, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show. It's always a pleasure to be part of your show when you are anchoring. And as regards the question which you have asked, since any security issue, related issue is to be studied in isolation, one needs to join the dots, and when you join the dots, there is a bigger picture emerging of systematic persecution of minorities in Bangladesh. And behind the systematic persecution of minorities in Bangladesh, please, once again, I am at the cost of repetition saying, do not look at Bangladesh in isolation. Join the dots, what's happening. There is a pattern emerging in the subcontinent and the world over. And that pattern indicates that there are very premeditated acts taking place to provoke India, whether the intent is to provoke India or not, but I would say the orientation is in that direction. They expect that India should be provocated and some response should be there, be it kinetic, non-kinetic, or some other means. One. Number two, it is simply a blatant lie. It's unfortunate I'm talking something about a religion which we are debarred as military people. But in essence, this is how it began way back in 71. Small incidents and gradually compounding and building up, becoming cumulatively impossible to be handled. So therefore, we need to nip it in the bud and we need to call it out. I must compliment NewsX that you have picked up the right theme at the right time and you are calling it out loudly that all that the interim government of Bangladesh has outlined in that interview, which you have mentioned, is simply blatant lie, and it is disputed by the evidence which is writ large on the ground. If you document them in chronological order, you have mentioned about a few. I have listed out from the open source research 2000 attacks between August 5 and August 20, 2024. September to October 2024, vandalism at temples and puja mandaps continued. Extortion also took place. November 24, attacks on temples and individual death, particularly one Hindu youth. December 24 to January 25, temples were vandalized, they were set on fire, almost to the tune of 2,400 people. Incidents have taken place in a short time of 2 to 3 months time during his tenure as the interim ruler, which he is accountable and responsible for. There are many more. There are many more. All I am saying is these are blatant lies. Either he doesn't know what is happening in Bangladesh, or he is deliberately responding as if he is totally, expressing his ignorance or feigning ignorance. This is all I can say at the moment. Back to you, Vinay.
So, Sudhakarji, it takes one dictator, it takes one wrong leader to send a country down the path of destruction. For Pakistan, we can easily say it was Zia-ul Haq who infused, religion into the military, which, led to Pakistan becoming the hub of terrorism. Is Bangladesh also headed in that direction, and should it worry India?
Absolutely, Vinit. Again, bang on. It is not heading. It is already headed. It's there. Bangladesh is turned into an epicenter of terrorism, which earlier we used to call Afghan-Pakistan corridor as the global epicenter of terrorists. Bangladesh has turned out. You have Hamas, you have footprints of Hezbollah there, you have Al-Qaeda, you have ISIS, you have Lashkar-e-Toiba training the Fourth Brotherhood Alliance, and the Fourth Brotherhood Alliance are basically of Rohingyas. One is the Arakan Army, the other one is ARN, one is led by ISI, another is led by Taliban, the third one by Huji, and the fourth one, God only knows who's leading it. But one of them, I suppose, if I respect my memory, ARN is turning around. The running business in a month is 400 to 500 crores rupees or more, purely out of drug money. This is the kind of business which they are actually running in Bangladesh and cutting across towards Myanmar, towards Arakan Army, and further towards the Golden Triangle. So these are the kinds of activities which are taking place. Lashkar-e-Toiba has not reported, it has been confirmed. They are imparting training along with the Mujahideens under the leadership of ISI. They're giving training to Rohingyas in the camps where the Ulfas is to actually occupy earlier. So these are the issues which are taking place. When you talk about the Lal Monir Hat, which is an abandoned airfield of Second World War, well, it is a stretch of ground, fine, but it is very close to Siliguri corridor. Definitely, it should actually perk up our eyes and ears It is just about 22 kilometers at the shortest distance, if I remember correctly, and it enables dominating the Siliguri corridor by observation and fire. Same is the case. There is a place called as Damak. Damak is in the southeastern part of Nepal, in the Jaffa province district, which is the district of the erstwhile Prime Minister of Nepal, Mr. Oli. And this particular place, Damak, is around, they say 55 kilometers, by my rough calculation is around 28 kilometers from Siliguri corridor. What is happening there? 491 companies, a consortium, a
Right,
kind
sir.
of a conglomerate is going to be sponsored majorly by China. And there is a railway line coming up close to the Nathola Pass, and you have Jafari Ridge overlooking Siliguri corridor.
So we have a paucity of time. I just have a very short question to ask you, and I would appreciate if you can give me a short answer. Theoretical as it may be, do you think this, despite the many odds in governance and in in terms of continuous government systems that Nepal has failed to see, it has still been able to come out of all these turmoils at a faster pace than Pakistan and Bangladesh, just because it's not a theocracy?
Are you talking about Nepal by any means?
Yes, sir. They've been able to come out of these turmoils a lot faster than Pakistan and Bangladesh for not being theocracies.
Yes, apparently yes, but too premature to say anything, because in Gen Z kind of a warfare, anything can erupt out of context also. We need to keep our fingers crossed and wait for the elections to take place in Nepal.
All right, fair enough, sir. Appreciate your response, and I appreciate the time you took out, sir, to speak with NewsX. Thank you so much. We take a short break. We'll be right back.